and welcome back to my channel. My name is Velvet on Stitch. My real name is Gemma. You can call me Gem. I said that already. You can call me Gemma, Velvet, Velvy, Velvety, you know, whatever you like. Just don't call me actually, because I won't answer. So I am today going to be tackling a dress for what I'm calling my like slutty Italian capsule wardrobe. So I am going to Italy next year. I'm doing a train trip from London over to Paris, to Milan, and then to Florence and or Rome. So I want to make a little capsule wardrobe, like maybe 3 dresses, a few separates, things that I can wear while I'm over there, that all kind of are the same colour palette and work together, so that I don't have to take loads and loads of clothes with me. So the first thing I'm going to work on is the Charm Patterns Étoile bodice with, I think, just a circle skirt. I'm not sure on the skirt yet, but I need to tackle the bodice because it's going to require some adjustments. So the Étoile bodice, I will put a picture in, is a double princess seamed bodice, and I've been puzzling on how to adjust it because I need to do a full bust adjustment. So what I'm thinking is the side front panel doesn't come near the bust, so I'm thinking I probably don't need to adjust that. I just need to do the middle front panel, no, the panel with the strap, and then the centre. And if I adjust those, then I can always add length to this side one if it needs it to match up, but I don't think it will. That's the plan. I can't find anywhere online that tells you how to do this, so we're just going to go for it and see if it works. I will do a mock-up of the bodice because I'm not going to cut into my lovely fabric and ruin it. This is my fabric. It is a navy blue and white polka dot cotton, just a basic cotton, which I thought would be nice and cool in the summer because we're going in like September time, so it should still be quite warm. And yeah, it's just classic, isn't it? Classic polka dots. My Goodwood Revival dress that I'm making is navy blue with lemons on and white flowers, so that will go with this. So that's going to be part of this too, even though I'm making it for Goodwood Revival. Then I want to make another dress. I want to make like a little jacket that will go with all of these, something thin, like a bolero or something, not too thick, but something that'll just keep me from getting chilled if it gets a bit chilly in the evenings. And also I don't like showing my arms, so I'll probably just wear it all day anyway. And I probably will make a circle skirt and some tops, or maybe some trousers. I'm not sure about trousers yet. I don't really like wearing trousers, but they'd be good for travelling in. So maybe I'll make some like capri pants or something like that. I have got my sailor trousers that I made, which would work with this. So maybe I'll just make some tops to go with that. But anyway, that's the plan. So today I'm going to start on the adjustments and see if I can get a bodice mock-up made. Sorry if I look really sweaty, it's because I am. It's really humid here today, and I've just been out in the garden filming my latest make, which is this from Gertie Sews Glam Knits, the Charm halter top with the pencil skirt, and I've made it into a dress. So I've been filming that in the garden and it's just way too hot out there. So I'm going to sit now and just cool off before I do anything and probably get changed again. But yeah, that's the plan for today, and I just wanted to film this start of the video before I look like absolute poop, so because I always do on these videos. Anyway, let's get into it. Okay, so I am looking at the pattern pieces here, thinking about how I'm going to do this full bust adjustment, because, let me just adjust, sorry, I got changed because it's too hot and I wanted something more flowy. Yeah, so I've got the 3 pieces here. We've got the centre front cup, which will go to probably across the bust. Then you've got the middle front cup, which is the bit with the shoulder strap, and this goes to the apex. So the apex is there, according to this. And then we've got the bodice side front, which is the bit that goes sort of into the arm side here. So I'm thinking adjust this, which goes over the apex, then adjust the other two pieces to match by adding in extra length. I think that's right. I'm just looking at full bust adjustments here. So the majority of the changes are done to the side, the small bit, but that doesn't go over the apex. So am I treating this doesn't touch the bust? This is what I don't understand, right? So this goes from the arm side to the side of the bust, say that's your side seam. Very little curvature of the bust there. I'm feeling like these two pieces are the pieces that we're going to have to adjust more. So do we treat this as like a shoulder? Treat it like we would treat a shoulder princess seam? It doesn't go into the shoulder though. I'm just looking at the Closet Core Patterns Guide. So it says, the alteration assumes that your apex coincides with the pattern apex, which mine does. In charm patterns, the apex is right for me. The shoulder to apex measurement on the pattern is the same as your body, and that the apex, the horizontal width of the centerpiece, is equal to your apex to apex measurement without the seam allowances. Let me just get a ruler so I can check, because we want to make sure we're doing this right, don't we? I need the ruler anyway, and a pencil, which I will have to find. Okay, so apex to apex, you're measuring from like the centre of your bust. Mine is 9.5. So this should be minus the seam allowances. So this is 5/8. Okay, so that's the seam allowance. We'll start from 5/8 here. So there, across to the centre, 5/8. I think that's going to be too wide for me actually. Oh wait, no, because I was going to I need to go to the size 22 line. Duh. So there is 4 and just under 5. Mine's 9.5, so that is about right. 10 I think mine was actually, if I measure it correctly. Centre to centre. 10, yeah, and that's about 5, so that's about right. Okay, so the apex is the correct width. So we need to add vertical length. The diagrams show a shoulder princess seam and an arm side princess seam, but the same principles apply to other types of princess seams. Find instructions below the diagram. Okay, so we are I think this is right. I think we do the adjustments to the centre piece, and then we'll adjust the side and the middle by adding extra length to match up. Let's just do it. Okay, so we need to draw the stitch line in. I need a pencil. Where is my pencil? There it is. I have one pencil and I keep it in the sewing room. Pencil. So we need to draw the stitch line of the princess seam in both centre and side front pieces and ensure the apex is clearly marked on the seam line of each piece. Okay, so I need to cut out the 22 first, and we'll add to the waist after. So let's just cut out the 22. Okay, and we're going to match up to mark the apex. So we're just going to match the seams at the 5/8 and mark on the apex. So that's where the notch goes. Let's do it this way, that'll be easier. So the notches and the apex is there. No, there. There. Great. Okay. Next, on the side front piece, draw line 1 from 1/3 of the way up the armhole to the centre front across the apex. If you have an arm side princess seam, draw L1 from 2/3 of the way up from the bottom of the arm side to the apex. 2/3 of the way from the bottom of the arm side to the apex. But I don't have the bottom of the arm size on this bit. Part of me wondered if I should perhaps just like tape these together as if they were like stitched, but I just don't think that I'll be able to do the adjustment properly. Okay, so 1/3 of the way. Two-thirds of the way from the bottom of the arm side to the apex. Two-thirds of the way. I haven't drawn my stitching line on. That is basically the stitching line. Okay, then draw line 2 from the apex to the side seam. You can parallel to the grain line. And then line 3 from the apex to the waist. Okay. On the centre front piece, draw L4 horizontally 1 inch above the waist seam. is that an inch above the waist seam line or an inch above the waist? Yeah, they've drawn the seam line on an inch above the waist seam. So that's 5/8. And then we're going an inch. And then I'm assuming we're doing the same on this piece because... Hey, excuse me, quiet. Shush. Doing explanations here. I'm assuming we do it on the side as well. Because we need to add length in. If I crack this, then I can tell everyone else how I did it. Okay, so I've drawn a horizontal line where we're going to add vertical length on the side and the centre to match the adjustments we'll do to the middle part. Right, cut L3 from the waist to the apex but not past the seam allowance, and through L1 from the apex to the arm side. So this is L3. I'll just print this out again if to the apex, and then just leave it to the arm side. 5/8 there. Great. Cut L2 from the side seam to the apex, but not through. Just snipping to the, just to make a little hinge. Right, okay, that's that. Spread the lower section until L3 separates into two parallel lines at a distance of the half of the full bust adjustment measurement. I know that needs to be maybe I should remeasure. I did do my measurements the other day, but it would probably help if I just did them again now. Just to be sure. It's so hard doing this on yourself. $53. What's the measurement? Hot. So the 22.50, so I need 1.5 inches. My bust's got a bit bigger. That would explain why the last thing I made was a little bit tight. Always check your measurements regularly. Right, so we want this, use a scrap of paper that we've cut here. So we need to 1.5 inches. Let's draw parallel lines on here. That 1.5 inches. I'm just doing this on a scrap piece. There, so that should be 1.5 inches apart, which it is. Okay, so we are, so that needs to be like that, and that needs to be like that. This looks very odd. I'm not entirely sure this is correct. It looks really weird. But we'll close it up again, yeah. I'm not liking these instructions. Okay, so I've done what I think is a correct full bust adjustment on the étoile bodice. So what I did was, I did the normal full bust adjustment that you would do for an arm side princess seam on the middle panel of the front pieces. So you've got the side, the middle where the strap is, and then the centre. By doing that, it opened a dart at the side, which I then closed, which means that that side has not changed at all, which means that that side piece doesn't need to change. Then the centre section, I just slashed and spread and dropped it down a bit, as in creating more space across to match up with the new princess seam. And it added like 2.5 inches of length, which seems a lot, but we'll make a mock-up and see. It also added 1.5 inches at the waist, which I left because I needed to make the waist bigger anyway, and I do carry more weight on the front here than in my back, so the side seams, I figured probably better to add more on the front than the back because I've got like a pouch. So I've left that, so that's because it's 1.5 inches on one side of the front, it's doubled, so it's 3 inches. So it's added 3 inches at the waist, and I needed to add another inch to make it my waist measurement. So what I did was split the inch between the 3 back panels, and because there's 6 back panels total, because you have 2 of each, I divided an inch into sixths. I did it in millimetres because it was just easier. It worked out at like 4.25 millimetres, and I just added 4.25 millimetres to each of the seams on the back to give me a total of an inch. I've just lined up the waist seams, taking out the seam allowance, and I'm going to measure, and it should give me 24 inches, which doubled would be 48. So here's the moment of truth. God, please be right. If I've done this right. It's 25. That's going to be too big. That's going to be 50 inches. I can always take it in a bit on the side seams. Maybe I should take it in a bit on the, where did it add to the most? The middle. Maybe I should take half an inch off, and that would take an inch off. So yeah, so if I line it up with my 5/8 of an inch seam allowance and measure it all along. Oh, I need to do it at the seam line, don't I? That might help. So there, at the 5/8 seam line, all the way along. Yeah, it's 25 inches, so I need to lose an inch because it won't match up with the skirt otherwise. I could easily make the skirt match. I could just add to the side seams, but it needs to be 48 inches. So I need to lose 2 inches off the waist because I've added. Okay, well I'll just take an inch off this side piece because we added 1.5 inches and you were supposed to close it up again. So if I take an inch off the side seam and then blend it back in, that's what Anika from Made to Sew showed you how to do it. So you take it from off the side seam again. Okay, and then 5/8 of an inch will be there. Let's put these back and measure it again. No one tells you there'll be so much maths when you're doing this stuff. Am I doing this right? I'm not doing this right. I'm glad I didn't cut that yet. I have to overlap the seam allowances. I've only done it on one side. Right, okay. So measuring the 5/8 on all of them, and then those lines match up, that would account for the extra. Yes. I must be acting like a crazy person, or I must sound like a crazy person. Is that right? Yes, because you would lose 5/8 either side. Okay. This is so fiddly. That's the back. Then the front, overlap, yep. Overlap the old line, not the new one I just made. Overlap again. Okay. Tape dispenser. To hold it all down. Measure again. This now should surely be 48 inches. Well, 24 because we want half. Oh my word. Now it's too small. 23. How? I don't understand. So it's 23, it's not even 23, it's less, 22. So at the moment I'd have a 44-inch waist. 22, so I need to add 2 inches. How? I don't understand. We added 3 at the waist. Okay, I'm going to add to the side seams of the back because I need to add an inch between the side seams on the back. I already added an inch, I need to add another inch. Or maybe I should add it to all the pieces, spread it across. This is insane. I just don't understand. So basically the waist of the size 22, the waist of the size 22 should be 44 inches, so I needed to add 4 inches. I already added 3 inches with the bust adjustment, so I should only need to add an inch, which I've done, and it's 2 inches too small. Make it make sense. It doesn't make sense.
6 months later.
Right, I have added 8.5 millimeters to each side of the back pieces. I'm now going to line them up again. I've remarked the 5/8 of an inch seam line, and I'm just going to line them up and measure the waistline again and make sure that everything is adding up correctly. This is really quite annoying now. Really thought that I'd done it. Just put my phone there to keep those in place. Yeah, so as I was saying earlier, no one tells you just how much maths is needed. What the flip? I just did this and now it's moved. So annoying. There. And that is there. Right, this better be 24 inches. That's what she said. Right. 5/8 away. If it's not this time, something's gone wrong. Uh, 23 inches. How is this happening? I don't understand. I just don't understand how this is happening. How is this happening? I calculated it. There's 6 pieces on the back. I split the 2 inches between the 6 pieces on the back, which led me to need to leave add 8.46 millimeters. So say 8.5 I've added, times 6, 51 millimeters. 51 millimeters is 2 inches, just over. So why is this not 2 inches bigger? It should be an inch bigger. Now I'm up to 46. I still need to add another inch. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. So what did I have before? I really don't understand this. So it's 23, which would make it 46. Have I lined any of these up wrong? Right, that should be on there. Yep. That should be on that one. That's right. That's right. That's right. And that's right. How? I don't understand how. How is this even possible? Yeah, what? It needs to be 24. I need to add an inch. Divide it by 3. Let's just do it like that. I need to add an inch here. So what's that? 2.5 centimetres. 25.4 millimetres. 25.4 divided by 3. 8.46 millimetres. Let's call it 8.5. Let's give ourselves a little bit of breathing room here. Right. Let me get my scrap paper out again. I'm getting really annoyed now.
6 months later.
Okay, I've added an inch across the back pieces. This should be right now. If it's not, I'm giving up because I don't know what's going on. So, what's happening here? Got a straggling piece of paper. I think that was supposed to be there. Whatever. Right. So, we are lining up the waist again. To there. Using my phone as a weight. Lining up the waistline. Side piece. I might cry if this doesn't work this time, okay? So just, you know, be prepared for that. I doubt if my hands would stop sticking to it. Okay, this needs to be 24 inches. I will scream. There's no possible way that this can't be 24 inches this time. Yes! Yes! Finally! Okay, so now I know it's going to fit my waist and it's going to match up with the waistline of the size 26 skirt that I need to make. For God's sake, that was just horrendous. That was utterly horrendous. just going to stick this bit of paper back here because I think that slither was supposed to be on there. Yes, it was, yeah. Just smoothed out that curve. Oh my god, how annoying. But it's done. I'm just sticking down all my loose bits of paper. Okay. I was going to try and sew a mock-up today, but I'm so done. I'm so done with it. Pattern adjustments. I can't think what I did wrong there. What did I do wrong? I must just not have added enough across the back. But I don't see how I did the calculations. Whatever, we've added 3 inches to the waist on the back and the front. So technically we've added 6 inches to the waist. We've added 3 to the back, 3 to the front. And the size of the 22, 44. How is that? These measurements can't be right, I'm sorry. My measurements are correct. Those measurements on the size chart can't be right. They just can't be right. They just can't be right. Like, that's ridiculous. I don't know how this would have worked. If I match, let me match this up and measure it based on the measurements that it should be for the size 22, as if I didn't do any alterations at all. And it should be 44, and I'm certain it's not going to be. Where's the 22? There. And then 22 is there. So this should be 22 inches. Is that what it said? 44, yeah, it should be 22 inches, and I need to take 1.5 inches out because I added that in. 24. Take out 1.5 inches. 22.5. What? Which would be right. I don't understand how this went wrong, but whatever. It's right now. I must have done something wrong. I don't know how. I can't figure out how. But I did. I honestly don't know what I did. So 44 was the 22 waist measurement. I added in 3 inches. That took it to a 47, and I need a 48. So I needed an extra inch. But it didn't work that way. I literally have no idea how this happened, because I've very clearly added in 1.5 inches at the waist here. You can see it here between these two lines. That's where I've extended it. That is 1.5 inches. And I don't understand where that's gone, because when you line them all up, it just doesn't, it's not right. And it's 1.5 inches on the one side, so it's 1.5 inches on the other side, which is 3 inches. So that should have taken it from a 44-inch waist up to a 47, but it didn't. I still had to add in an extra 3 inches. What? It makes no sense. It makes no sense whatsoever. I don't understand how this has occurred, but we should be there now. Pattern adjustments are so frustrating. Do you know what? I've cut this out of muslin and I'm just pinning it together, and I think I might have done it, you know. I think I might have achieved it. So centre front, bust, strap, it's hitting me at the right point of the waist. The straps look like they're going to be at the right point on the shoulder. The bust point is right. I think I might have done this. Have I done this? I'm doing the whole thing out of muslin. Like, I never make a mock-up. If you've been here any length of time, you'll know it's rare for me to make a mock-up. But I really wanted to get this right because it's difficult. And when I do a full bust adjustment on a princess seam bodice, I always get my notches like out of alignment. And I've actually managed to do it this time so that they do match up. And like, I can't believe I have actually done this. Like, what? Have I actually done this? I've actually achieved something I put off for ages, thinking that I didn't know how to do it, and I've just kind of figured it out myself and done it, and actually it's worked. I puzzled it out and it's worked. Like, what? I've done the back together as well. Now sew all these seams and then join the front and backs together, and I might even just sew a zip in. I'm so excited. Oh my god, this is going to be perfect. Okay, I am trying on my bodice. There's a little bit of wrinkling up here where the princess seam is, but I didn't sew it properly, and also I would usually wear a bra that would push them up a bit more to fill out that curve, so I'm not going to alter that because I think it will solve itself, and that's actually a very simple thing to fix anyway. So I think the length is about right. I will always like crunch up in the waist in whatever I wear because my tummy sticks out. I think I might add a little bit at the side seams just to give me a bit of extra room. The back, I wouldn't be wearing this bra with it, but the back I think is fine, but the straps are not long enough. They're nowhere near. I need to add a good, yeah, I don't know how much I need to add, but I think I'll just add in a strip, pin it, see what I need, and then the arm size fine. Yeah, so I think I might grade out a little bit. I don't want to make it too big on the bust, but we are going to have boning and everything in there, so I think adding a bit at the sides would be helpful. I think I'm going to add, sorry, my hair's a mess today. I think I'm going to add 1/2 inch to each side, which will give me 1 inch overall. Just give me a little bit of extra room. Because when I didn't have these like shapewear shorts on, which I wear under my dresses all the time anyway because they stop my legs chafing. When I didn't have those on, I couldn't get this done up. And also, it is looking quite tight here. It is tight. There's no ease here. So I think if I add 1/2 inch on both sides, just at the side seams, that will shift the side seam back a little bit as well, which is where it should be. So I'm just going to add it to the sides. I think that will be good. And then the strap I need to fix. But otherwise, I can't believe this has worked. Like, my boobs are in there and I didn't think that would happen. They are being squished a bit, but I don't mind that. It's, you know, I'd rather that than them be loose. Maybe I could go braless in this, you never know. Okay, so I have added in 1/4 inch at the side seams here. You can't see because I've pinned in a big bit of fabric just so that I could let it out a bit if I needed to. And that is a lot better. I've got some ease in there now, which I think when Maybe that's a little bit too much, but it feels better, and on the bust it's not as tight. It's not like crushing my boobs anymore. The straps I've added, how's it sitting at the back there? It's flush. It's hard with the seam allowances to see, but yeah, I think it's flush. This is seam allowance, so that's at the right point. Yeah, the seam allowance, when we turn it up, I've stitched all along here. That will be hitting me at the right point. The straps are too long. I just eyeballed them. The angle of them is going to be like off my shoulder. I think I might need to bring that up quite a lot. Adjust the angle. It needs to be on the shoulder, I think. So I'm going to have to move that across. I'm not sure how I would do that. Maybe I need to make this centre, move it in a bit, because it should be over the apex of my bust, I think. It kind of is. No, I think it is, but the strap is, the angle's wrong, because they're going to be like proper like off shoulder, and they should be up on the shoulder, and they're going to gape. So I need to fix that. The pins are stabbing into my arm right now. But yeah, these straps are too long, so I need to take them in, but they're too far off my arm. I've got very narrow shoulders, so I'd have to adjust the angle of the strap. How far? So you want it to there, really. Is that an inch? I'm not sure. If we let it sit where it wants to sit, that, it should be there. I think it's fine on the back. The arm size is very low now. I just don't know what I'm doing, frankly. Okay, so I'm back again. I have adjusted the strap lengths. After speaking to people online, they have said that the straps are supposed to be slightly off the shoulder, and I'm now wearing... This is just the easiest way for me to check the fit. I can't pin it on myself. What have I done? What I've done is made the straps too short, I think. Okay, so I'm trying this on now. Great personal pain with the bra I'd be wearing with it, probably. And I wanted to check the straps. And I think this might actually... This might work now. They are flapping a bit. They're still a bit too far off the shoulder, I think. I think I need to make them like that. Up a bit. Take a wedge out there. You know how hard it is to do this on your own. Okay, so if we pin, yes, and these straps will be thinner. There's a little bit of gaping at the back there. Which is mostly solved if I just stand up straight. My posture's horrendous. That, with a dart taken out there, I think would be good. These are over the apex. Someone said they weren't, but they very clearly are. My nipples are here, so they are. And the reason they're puckering here is because I didn't trim the seam allowance away or anything. And I haven't done a particularly good job of sewing these princess seams. But I can easily take this in a bit here or let it out if I need to with the seam allowances. Actually, I think I could take a bit out, but I won't, because once boning's in and everything, I think we'll be good. I think this looks pretty good. It's quite big at the back actually. I could probably take a bit out at the back, but I don't want to take all the ease away. There's like a little bit of ease, and I think I'd rather keep that. But I think this is correct. So I'm back working on this bodice. I'm not in a very good mood today, so just bear with. So what I did, I pinched out the excess in the neckline into a dart that went to the side seam, and then I've transferred that onto my pattern piece. So I worked out it's an inch of fullness I'm taking out in the dart, half an inch each side, and I have marked that on my pattern on the stitching line, not at the edge of the pattern. So I marked the 5/8 stitching line, drew it from there over to the side seam where I'd drawn the dart, where I pinned the dart on the muslin, again to the seam allowance, like to the stitching line, 5/8 of an inch from the edge. I cut up one of the dart legs and through the stitching, through the seam allowance, just to create a little hinge, closed it up, and then smoothed out the edges. Compared this to the muslin, and it's the same shape, so that's positive. Don't need to true the seams for this middle piece because we didn't affect this curve where this is joining. That's not affecting it at all, but I do need to check the side front and make sure that that still matches up with the seam allowance, because we did affect the curve there, and that is actually matching up really well. So what I'm going to do now is cut out another muslin in calico with my new pattern pieces that I have adjusted, sew it up and try it on, and this should fit really well because we've done all the adjustments. We added 1/4 inch at the side, we added 5 inches to the strap length, and we closed up the gaping on the neckline. We also did a 3-inch bust adjustment and added 3 inches, 6 inches to the waist actually in total. So yeah, hopefully if I cut this out now, this will be the one, and I can stop faffing about with this horrible thing that I've been mucking about with for ages. So this was a really good exercise in fitting for me, because I don't usually do a lot of fit adjustments. Gertie's patterns normally fit me pretty well as long as I just do the bust adjustment and grade out at the, like, to a larger size at the waist and the hip. So this was really good actually to have to do the adjustments to the sleeves. yeah, I feel pretty accomplished if this works out. It is hot today, like ridiculously hot. It's not even the hottest day of the year, but it's too humid and I hate it and it's making me really hot. Anyway, I've just cut out and sewn up muslin 2 of this bodice and I'm happy with it. I think this is perfect. I think it's as perfect as it's going to be. The seams are puckering because I haven't trimmed them down, because what I'm going to do is take this apart and use it as the interlining. Why waste fabric? So yeah, just imagine that these are sort of seam allowances is tucked under. They're going to sit at the right point on my shoulders. They're not falling down. And the neckline looks how it should, so I fixed that problem. If we just take a look at the side seam, nice and straight there. I will have some kind of control shorts on under this, but I thought the arm side was going to be too low. I actually think it's going to be fine, even if you take the seam allowance off. That's fine. Let's take a look at the back. Am I in shot? If I stand up straight, I think that this should be as good as it's going to get. It's hard to tell if there's any... No, there's a little bit of wrinkling on that one strap, but if I stand up straight, all I have to do is stand up straight. I'm so happy. I think this is actually a really good fit. I'm really pleased with it. I'm going to take some pictures and just assess it, but I am actually really happy. I think this is great. The shoulder seams are probably a little far forward, but that doesn't really matter. I could easily fix that by just taking like half an inch off one side and putting it on the other. Easy fix, very easy fix. So I'll do that. If we're doing this, we might as well do it properly. Where is my shoulder? It might be in the right place actually. My shoulders do come forward a bit. But yeah, I'm really happy with this. I think this is actually a really good fit. I'm really happy. So yes. Do you ever wonder what you did in a past life that was so bad that these things happen to you on a daily basis? Like, why? Why is this wound round underneath here? I just needed to wind... Firstly, the bobbin ran out while I was sewing one seam. And then this has happened. And I'm just like, really? 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 Good morning. Did I forget to film pretty much any of this so far? Yes. So what I've done so far is... Sorry, I'm just matching up pieces here. There we go. I'm trying to... So basically I have underlined all the outer bodice pieces, so underlined them with calico, and I hand basted, so I don't know if you can see my hand stitches around the edge, because when I ran one piece through the sewing machine and the tension was really tight. It was like gathering the fabric, and I can't get that right for some reason on my machine, so I was like, I'm just gonna do it by hand. That was quite relaxing actually. I enjoyed it. So yeah, that was sorry, I'm just looking for, where's the double notch? Buenas noches, bitch. Is that the double? Yes. Yeah, so I decided to do it by hand, so that took me a hot minute. But that's done. And then I've sewn together the front bodice. I didn't, and this is controversial, I didn't clip into my princess seams because I never do. And I never do because I find that I can, if I'm careful, I can get them to match up without clipping in to the straighter side to get it to. Basically, for those who don't sew, you're supposed to, when you're joining a really curvy piece, say you're joining a really curvy, I can't put my hand the right way, a curvy piece of fabric to a straight piece of fabric, it's really hard to get that straight piece of fabric to go round. But if you clip into it every so often up to the stitching line, it will allow the fabric to sort of like spread open a bit, so it's easier to go round. Anyway, I don't like to do that because I saw somebody posted once on Instagram that it weakens the seams, and I started doing it without. Basically, it's better to, if you, bless you, that's my cat sneezing, it's better to finish the seam on the overlocker. It allows them to lay flatter as well when you try to press it, but if you finish it on the overlocker as one and then press it to one side, then that actually gives you a nice smooth finish and you don't have to clip into the seams. I don't trust myself clipping into the seams anyway. You're supposed to do a line of stay stitching and you don't clip past that stitching to make sure that you're not clipping into your outer project that you're going to see, but I just don't trust myself, so I don't do it. Anyway, this fabric was really thick and I haven't done it and it's been fine, so I will show you now. Come here, let me rotate you. Hi, it's first thing in the morning, and yeah, so this is the front bodice and I have pattern matched down this centre seam, and it's not perfect, but like, tell me looking at that from far away that it doesn't look good. And I've done the back seam, should be pattern matched as well. So yes, we've got our straps, side seams with our lovely princess seam. I've held it up against me. It looks like it's going to fit really nicely. It's going to be really structured because with the calico underlining, it's giving it a lot of body. So right now I'm just putting together the back bodice pieces, and then I'll have to do it all again for the lining. So yeah, I'm just working on that at the moment, and then I'll need to cut my boning channels and cut my boning, put those in, and then it's onto the skirt. After attaching the lining, go onto the skirt, put the pockets in and attach the skirt to the dress, put the zip in and hem it. Oh, and I've bought horsehair braid, synthetic obviously, I don't know if you can see that, to hem it, because I've never used this before, but I thought that I would like to try it. It is a vintage technique, I think, so I'm keen to see if this makes hemming a circle skirt any easier and or more fun, because it's really not fun, it's really boring. And hopefully this, I like hand sewing, so I will hand finish, so I'll sew this to the edge, to the hem, and then fold it in and hand sew to the dress with like a little stitch so you can barely see it on the outside. And I'm hoping that I'll enjoy that process because I like hand sewing, so we'll see. But yeah, this is the plan, so I'm going to do a bit of this before I start work this morning. That face. It's another sweltering one. I am working on this again. So I have my bodice done. This is the lining, and it's looking really good in terms of fit. I think that puckering on the bust will disappear when the boning is in. So I'm just putting the boning channels. Drink every time I say boning. Boning. I'm just attaching the boning channels. So I've done the easy ones, the ones at the back. So this is where the spiral steel boning will go inside, and then you won't see it on the lining. You'll just see the stitching lines where the channels are. So yeah, I'm just sewing those in. You have a piece that goes over the bust and then one down the middle. So they're, then you have these diagonal ones that go across the side seam. Ow! And I'm using my edge stitch foot so I can get really close to the edge of, you know, as the name would suggest, really close to the edge of the boning channel, because you don't want to. It's 1/2 inch boning channel, and you're probably drunk by now if you are drinking every time I say boning. Boning. It's 1/2 inch. Sorry, my tummy's rumbling. 1/2 inch thick boning channeling, and then the boning itself is 1/4 inch. So you should have just enough space to get it in. That's what she said. As long as you don't stitch too far into the channel. So I am stitching probably, I don't know, a 1/16 of an inch less probably away from the edge, just to make sure that it's, I don't know if you'll see the stitching, it's probably not going to show up, but it's right close to the edge, so you can see it a bit there, how sort of thick it is. That's what she said. So, progress on the bodice. I haven't recorded a lot because I've just been doing little snips, little snatches of time here and there, but we've got our sweetheart neckline. The lining is all in. The boning channels are sewn in. This is all understitched. The straps are half done. The back, like the bit where the zip's going to go, is kind of half done, but it's looking really nice. I think it's going to be really, really nice. Next step I think is to sew the underarm seams and then put the boning in. Boning. I'm really happy with it so far. That front neckline is a little bit puckered, but I think once I've got it on you probably won't tell. I might try and get in there and iron it a little bit more. I just don't want to get iron shine all over it, you know? I don't want to overdo it. But it's looking great, and the pattern matching, magnifique. Hello. So it is the next day. I'm on my lunch break from work. Honestly, sewing is the only thing getting me through the days at the moment. I'm really struggling mentally, but this is helping. So we have our lovely sweetheart neckline here. So pretty. I need to now sew the underarm seams. So basically we've done the whole of the front neckline. We've done the back neckline, all understitched and pressed and everything, and sort of half the strap. So now we need to do the underarms, so this bit. So yeah, we're going to do that, and then after that we can put the boning in. Boning! And join the shoulder straps and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, we're just working on that. Now my straps are longer than the pattern, so I'm just matching up my seam lines. Yeah, my straps are longer than on the pattern, so obviously there's a circle mark where you stop sewing so that you can turn the straps right side out. However, my circle marks, so they were like 2 inches from the end of the strap, So my straps are longer, so I've gone maybe like 2-3 inches, say 3 inches from the end, 2.5, 3, and I'm just hoping that I can pull the straps through because this is going to be quite thin. I think I should be able to do it, but my straps are longer, so it might be a bit fiddly, but hopefully I'll be okay. I'm really looking forward to seeing this when the straps are turned out and finished, because they'll be thinner, and I haven't seen it on me with the thinner straps yet. Obviously I've seen when I made the twirl, they were quite thick because I hadn't sewn them closed, so you still had all the seam allowance there. So I'm excited to see how that looks when it's done. Very excited, so excited. Hello, it's the next day and I'm about to cut my boning. Ding 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 ding. The word of the day is boning. So I've got these like really strong aviation snips. But when I cut boning, I've just been cutting straight across and it's really difficult and it pings everywhere. So I saw Gertie doing it where she just snips in one side, snips in the other, and I was like, why didn't I just do it like that? So I'm just measuring. Where do I want it to go to? Don't want it to be so long that it gets caught in the seam allowance, because that's not good. So we want at least 5/8 from bottom, at least, and a little bit of extra. So we want really, I think she said like 7/8 from the bottom. It looks good to me. So about there. And now I'm going to try and snip in. That blatantly didn't work. Maybe I'll just go back to my way. She just doesn't want to cut sometimes. I should really be wearing goggles for this. Oh, there we go. It always leaves 2 little broken bits behind. Let me check, is that the right size? Looks a little bit long actually. And we cut another one the same because needed the other side as well. God. Ugh. I just think I'm just not strong enough for this. Okay, the boning's in. Boning. And even though you can't really see a lot of difference from how it was before, there's like structure here that wasn't there before, you know? So it's going to keep these curves of the bust nice, and obviously when I wear it, it will cinch everything in nice so we can be snatched. Yeah, so next step is I've got all the skirt pieces here. So we've got the pockets and then the front and back skirt. The back is in 2 pieces, front is in 1, and I need to finish all the raw edges. I have finished all the raw edges, well, the seams that need seam finishing. I've done them on the overlocker. So around the pockets, the vertical seams on the panels of the skirt. I have sewn the skirt back. Oh, I also did stay stitching around the waistland. The waistland? That sounds like some kind of like a post-apocalyptic movie. Stay stitching around the waistland. Starring Velvet Von Stitch. She woke up from a coma and everyone was gone. So what did she do? Made a polka dot dress. So I have stay stitched around the waistline to stop it stretching out, even though it didn't tell me to do that in the instructions, because the instructions assume you're attaching a waistband. I'm not, and I know that this is an important step, and I did it. And I normally skip stuff like this because it's boring, but I did it. That's growth. I have stabilised the back zipper opening with fusible interfacing, and I have sewn the centre back seam and pressed it open. So what's really annoying me is that I didn't try to pattern match this, and look, double like circles all the way down. So annoying, but that's probably going to be pretty much lost in the swoosh of the skirt, so I'm not going to worry about that. The good news is that it's pretty symmetrical. I don't know how my front's looking, if I've managed to get it. Yeah, there's a line of polka dots kind of going down the centre, so I should be able to sew it so that it actually matches up and the row of polka dots carries on down the centre front. Hello. I forgot to update you, but I'm working on the dress again. I attached the skirt yesterday and I've got it all pinned inside, ready to hand sew the lining. No, I didn't attach the skirt yesterday. I attached the skirt the day before, but I've done the zip. I've put the zipper in. So that's something, and it looks really quite neat. I'm quite impressed with myself. So now I'm just going to sit and do a bit of hand sewing. I'm having quite a stressful week. Just really short staffed at work, and the workload's really high, and I had to go to the doctor's today as well. I finally made an appointment because I had a lump in my neck here for a few months now, and I suspected it was a swollen lymph node because I'm just congested all the time. But I finally got the courage to go to the doctors, and they told me it's chronic sinusitis, and they've given me antibiotics to try and clear it. So that's a big relief, because I was worried that, you know, you feel a lump and you worry that it's something major and sinister, but thankfully this time it's not. So I'm just going to sit and do some quiet hand sewing on my lunch break, because I just can't keep running at like 100 miles an hour all the time. It's really getting to me now. I'm just struggling so much. That's probably why I can't shake off this this infection as well, because I'm just burned out, completely burned out. So attaching the horsehair braid now around the bottom of the skirt. I didn't need to trim it. I think this cotton is quite stable and didn't really like stretch out on the bias. So that was nice, because that's what normally puts me off sewing hems on circle skirts, is leveling the hem. I actually just despise that job. I hate it so much. Haven't tried my new gadget yet, my vintage hem leveler. maybe it will make it easier with that. But this stuff's quite good because it kind of has like a stretchiness in it. I guess it's the open weave how it's made, but going around the bottom of a circle skirt, it should be quite easy to like maneuver, so that's good. This stuff is unraveling like crazy. I'm trying to keep it under control here, but like, yeah. So what I'm doing is just attaching it all around the bottom edge, and then I'll sew it like quite near the edge, and then turn it under. So I'm putting it on the right side at the moment, the right side of the skirt. So I've stitched it to the raw on the right side, and I just used the presser foot as a guide, the edge of the presser foot, so it's probably about, I don't know, 3/8 of an inch. Let's measure. Theo, stop plucking the carpet, you're getting on my nerves. It is 1/2 inch. So 1/2 inch. It said online to do 1/4, but I just used the presser foot and it was 1/2 inch. So, and now all I'm doing is just folding it over inside, making sure that it's sort of close, like there's no extra in the caught up in the seam allowance there, just pushing it out so it's nice and smooth, and just putting a pin in. And because it's like flexible, it's flexible, so it's not, because it's flexible, it's not like buckling. You know, like when you normally do a circle skirt hem, you have to put some easing stitches in or something to stop the hem going all like woo. But because this is flexible, you don't have that problem. It's just laying nice and flat inside. It's this game changer. I will never hem a circle skirt another way. I want to see what it looks like. When I've pinned this, I'm going to hang it on the mannequin just to see how it hangs. And as long as I like it, I will be using horsehair braid to hem all my circle skirts from now on, because this is so easy, and I like hand stitching, so I don't mind going around and hand stitching it down, but it's just looking so nice. Just like, what a cool technique, you know? Amazing. Well, I love the way that looks. I love the way it's sitting. Oh my god, it's so nice. And that's a wrap. I am really happy with how that dress turned out. So happy. I was going to record this little outro in the garden, but my neighbour was in his garden and he was talking on the phone, and I didn't want to be out there talking because it was kind of weird. So yeah, we're doing it now. I had to come in and get changed again. It was so hot out there. It's just way too hot here in Norfolk still. But yes, I'm very happy with how the dress came out. I love how twirly it is, and I think the fit is really good. I think I could have actually sized down a little bit on the waist, to be honest. Sorry, this is a little bit too high. Yeah, I could have sized down a little bit on the waist, but I don't mind leaving a little bit of room at the waist because, you know, fluctuating, especially when it's hot time of the month, that kind of thing, it's good to have a bit of room to breathe. But yeah, really happy with it. Really glad the pattern adjustments worked out, and the straps were sitting really well. It was lovely and flat on the back and the front as well, and I raised the arm side a little bit, and that was the perfect amount. It was actually the right amount on the arm side. I was really happy with that. And the horsehair braid in the hem was just a game changer. I can't believe I've never hemmed a circle skirt like that before. But hemming circle skirts is what puts me off making them. And now I know about horsehair braid and how easy it was. There's nothing stopping me. So let's make all the circle skirts. But yeah, I'm really happy with it. Yeah, let me know what you think. And thank you for being here as always. Please do leave a comment. Please like and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Hello to all my new subscribers as well, because I've had quite a few the past couple of weeks. Yeah, so let me know what you think, and I'll be back again soon with another sewing video. I'm like going great guns on the sewing at the moment. I am just in a sewing mood. I've got my sojo back. It's giving me all the dopamine, and that's what I needed. So yeah, I'll be making some more. I've got to get on with my Goodwood projects, and I've got one more dress I want to make for summer as well, even though summer's not going to be around for much longer. But I'm working on another dress as well, actually, like an upcycle project of an old dress that I made like when I first started sewing that just doesn't fit me very well, but I love the fabric, so I'm reworking that into something else. So that will be coming soon. Haven't done an upcycle sort of like reworked garment video before, so that should be good. And yeah, I'll be bringing more Goodwood stuff and just me generally being chaotic and doing the thing that I love most in the world. So yeah, thank you for being here, and I appreciate you all, and I will see you again soon.